Good morning, Tea Tribe. Welcome to the Morning Tea. I'm your host, Alex Schiffman, and today is a very special day on the show because I am joined by my two guest co-hosts from the Hollywood Raw podcast, Dax Holt and Adam Glenn. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good morning. You're waking us up all
Alex?
nice and early to drop this tea. I like it.
I'm in New York, guys, so I got to sleep in a little bit. Doesn't mean I just didn't get out of the shower, but I'm good.
I love it. Yeah, we wake up super early on the West Coast to bring you the morning tea. And not only is it early, but it's also Tequila Tuesday. So we have a little extra to wake us up during the show. You know what I mean? I hope you have your tequila ready.
Oh, I got my coffee with tequila in it. Is that acceptable?
I got a protein shake with tequila. Is that acceptable?
So T-Tribe, you know how this works, of course. Show them some love in the chat. Guys, do you have a favorite emoji? It's the way our viewers show love. If they like something you say, they'll show you that in the chat.
I'm a big fan of the winky tongue out face. You know what I'm talking about? Like that one?
All right.
That's the one I like.
What
I'm
about
a
you,
poop
Adam?
guy. Just give me some poop. It's I'm so basic, dude. It's like, I'm a guy. It's very easy for me.
I love it. All right, T-Tribe, let's get some of those tongue emojis and the poop emoji in the chat this Tuesday morning. So, guys, let's introduce yourselves to the T-Tribe. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, kind of the podcast, and how you two actually met, because it's pretty interesting, guys.
Adam, you go for it.
Well, Dax and I met while working at TMZ. We both worked at TMZ for a long time. Dax was actually one of the first employees there. And then I came on in about 2010. But me and Dax never really crossed paths too much because Dax worked in the newsroom in LA. I'm based in New York City, but we also had two different jobs. Dax worked in the newsroom as far as purchasing photos for the site for the television show. I was on the streets as a paparazzi, and I was the one getting all the shots for TMZ. So it was pretty cool. And then after we both left TMZ, we kept in touch, and Dax had an opportunity to do a podcast. We thought we had an interesting dynamic because we kind of covered two different sides of the Hollywood industry, and then we created the Hollywood Raw podcast, and it's been good ever since, I think.
Yeah. It has been good. It's been a fun ride. I think we definitely bring two dynamics to the podcast. Him being on the street, me being just a different side of the knowing celebs, I guess. Adam, he's very modest, but let's just say everyone in New York knows Adam. And that has been one of the coolest parts is, when Oprah walks into a building and she sees Adam, she's like, Adam, what's up, brother? Like, he knows everyone. And so we've been able to lock down some really awesome guests on our podcast over time. We've had John Cena and Kevin Hart and Kelly Osbourne and Brian Austin Great. We've just had a really fun gamut of celebrities join us, and it's like Adam said, we open up that fourth wall of Hollywood and get people to talk about some of the things that they would never normally talk about. I mean, listen, Kelly Osbourne talking about her surgery. That was something that no one had heard of, and she told us on the podcast, and that made international headlines the second we released it. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
The business of show business. So we're able to, in some ways, we like to say humanize Hollywood. Sometimes people call people like myself the villain as the paparazzi. But, I like to talk about the other side of it and how it's part of the industry. It's part of the game, and how people use people like me and Dax to their advantage for their publicity, for their product, whatever they're pushing. So it's good to reveal that fourth wall of Hollywood. It feels good for people to understand a little bit more what's going on in Hollywood right now.
Right. So, T-Tribe, these two definitely know what they're talking about when it comes to celebrity tea, working at TMZ, being on the streets, in the newsroom. So don't sleep on these two. And, of course, check out the Hollywood Raw podcast. But until then, Adam, I got to hear about this Oprah story because Oprah knows your name. Like, how did that even happen?
It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. You know, it's one thing. So I work in New York City. I've been a street journalist. I like to call myself because I'm not the normal paparazzi. So I've been a street journalist in New York City for a long time, and from doing that, I had a lot of cool experiences. I became close with Shaq. I've gotten to meet Beyonce. Put me in a music video. I mean, I had some insane experiences. But Oprah's one of those people. Every time she's in New York City, I always wanted to cross paths with her, and I wanted to. I wanted to make sure that every time she came to New York, I wanted to cross paths her. I wanted her to know me. And one day she's like, "What's your name?" Adam. And we became kind of cool. So every time she comes to New York, I try to make sure I cross paths with her. She gets to know my name, and it's pretty awesome. Every time I see her, "Hey, Adam, what's up, Adam?" And I get these exclusive interviews that nobody else could get. And it's funny, when Oprah comes to New York, she usually does at least 3 interviews. She'll do Gayle King, she'll maybe do Stephen Colbert, and she does Adam Glynn. It's insane, right? Except I'm the one who drives a Honda Accord.
Well, that's pretty amazing to be able to say that Oprah knows you by first name. So super, super cool.
And she knows me by account of knowing Adam. So I take that. That's close enough for me.
You're Adam's friend.
Exactly.
Well, we have
I've interviewed Oprah so much. It's insane.
Yeah, that's amazing. But
and the coolest part is, to be honest with you, it's like I get to talk to her on like the street, not like on a red carpet. So it's like more real. Then afterwards, people don't see like we hug each other. And the cool thing I want people to know about Oprah is that she's so down to earth and she's so normal. Like it's not like a big entourage. She's just so easy and chill. And when she talks to you, she gives you her time. Like she makes sure you know that she's talking to you. Like she's just a good person.
I love it. That's wonderful to know because, not every celebrity is that nice. So it's good to know that they're actually human and real. But we have a lot of tea to spill today. So let me just break down what we have on the show today. Kicking things off, we're talking about the new trailer for The Bachelorette. Adam, I know you hung out with someone that is rumored to win it last night. So we're going to talk about that. Tonight's the premiere, guys. Bachelor Nation, get excited. Also, Miley Cyrus has an interesting interview on a radio station. This is cool. Plus, MTV is bringing back a classic show that you may or may not have heard of, depending how old you are, but it's good, guys. And then get this, WAP may be missing out on a big opportunity. The Grammys are right around the corner, so stick around for that. We also have new music news with Justin Bieber getting ready to release a new single on Friday, and BTS, K-pop fans, raking in the views over this past weekend. We'll talk about that. We'll also get you up to date on all your Kar Jenner news. But be sure to stick around for our OMT story of the day because we're talking about Max Ehrich and his new song, all about Demi. He just won't go away. So make sure you stick around for that later in the show. It's going to be a mess and a lot to speculate for sure. But let's get right into it, guys. Do you have your mugs? Because we do a little cheers before we kick it off. Get your protein shake, Adam, and let's do this. Cheers to spilling the tea.
Cheers.
All right.
Salud, guys.
Mm-hmm. All right. So first up, of course, this is You Missed It. And these are all the stories you may have missed overnight. Don't worry. We handle all the trending tea for you. And first up, we're talking about this new Bachelorette trailer and the premiere tonight. So The Bachelorette is back, guys. The much-anticipated season dropped a final trailer leading into the new season premiere tonight, and it is juicy. While fans have known this season will be a 2-for-1, with Tayshia Adams replacing Claire Crawley midway through, speculation has run wild over what causes the split. So the trailer that dropped yesterday sheds a little more light on the subject. In the trailer, we see a storyline start to develop as Claire falls very hard for contestant Dale Moss from the get-go. The other guys are not having it. So lines such as, quote, "I expected more from the oldest Bachelorette ever." And then another one, "Want to get crazy? Let's get crazy. How about the 15 of us walk out?" So there's a major divide between how Claire and the guys feel. So it's gonna get dramatic. Building up at the drama, at one point, a contestant says, quote, "It's only a matter of time before Claire realizes the truth that Dale's maybe not who Claire thinks he is." So, guys, what do you think this season has in store for Bachelorette fans? And tell us about Dale. Let's do it.
I think I think this is going to be the most dramatic season of The Bachelorette ever. No. Listen to Chris Harrison say it for the 4 millionth time. I stopped watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette a while ago. I kind of lost interest when they started switching around and not grabbing from like the cast of the season before. I think it was like Ari's season I kind of started to check out. But I kind of think I might check back in, only because I see all the drama and the drama makes me interested, and I kind of want to see what goes down. And I don't even care like who wins or who doesn't. I just want to see all the people fight and then, move along with my life here.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dax and I sort of disagree on this a little bit. He likes when they kind of reuse other Bachelor and Bachelorette people. Me, on the other hand, I want to see someone completely new. Not Claire, not someone like Rachel Lindsay, like someone who's coming from an old episode or an old season. I want to see someone new because I want to believe the show is real. Now, in past years, the show's just gotten so ridiculous. I'm like, this is just a TV show. It's not real love. Because reality TV, you think it's going to be real, and it just doesn't seem more real. With this situation, it hits a little more close to home. Dale Moss, who's the rumored guy to win the show, is a buddy of mine. I know Dale very, very well. In fact, I'm probably going to work out with him in a little bit. So it's just, I know him very, very well. And I remember when I was with him before he was going to do the show, and legally he could only say so much. Obviously they signed a bunch of contracts. He can only say so much. And I remember like, man, you're about to do The Bachelorette. Like I was like, dude, this guy's going to come off and be a star when he comes back. And then sure enough, you hear the reports when he's filming, oh my God, Claire picks Dale. It blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God, my buddy just got the girl on The Bachelorette. Now, so for me, I'm definitely going to watch this season. There's what I'm hearing is that the episode for Claire's season, from what I'm hearing just through the blogs and stuff, is that it's only going to be about 5 episodes of him. Mm-hmm. How funny is that video of these guys marching off all pissed off of Dale? Like all these dudes in their rented suits just mad and angry. I think I'm just tuning just for that.
Yeah, I don't think producers wanted this to happen, but I think, as a 29-year-old woman, she knows what she wants and she just doesn't want to go through with it. It's not necessarily good for the show, but I also think it's great for the transition because I want to shout out Celine in the chat. She's saying, honestly, I never watched The Bachelor until last season. I'm only interested in this season because of the switch, and I want to see how it goes down. So, as we know, it's rumored, basically confirmed that Tayshia Adams is going to come in and bring a little diversity that the show needs and kind of switch it up a bit. They've never done this before. So I'm going to watch this season just for that switch up because that's going to be exciting, don't you think?
Yeah, producers didn't want it to happen, but you got to think after the fact, they're like, yeah, this is great because everyone's talking about it. If it's just a regular Bachelorette season, like, it's not that exciting. You go through the steps over and over. We've seen 20 seasons of it, and this is something different. So I got to think that in the moment the Bachelor or the producers probably didn't love it, now they're loving it.
Yeah, yes. I mean, over 20 seasons of this show, and it's still going stronger, actually getting bigger every year. The Bachelor and Bachelorette army is just, it's a very strong people. You're watching Dance with the Stars right now, and Caitlin Bristow is, she's a favorite. People are very behind her. They have, you see the podcast behind these people. They have people really are obsessed with these people. And somehow the show has been able to really create more and more interesting storyline. I mean, props to the producers because to think about that kind of storyline and say, we're going to end the show allegedly like right away and bring on a new person, a new girl. I mean, this is just a storyline that kind of fell in their lap and like, yes, gold. I just don't know what they could do next.
Right. And excuse me, Kiara is correcting me in the chat. I said 29. She is 39 years old. But even more, coming into her own, knows what she wants. So definitely, you guys check into that premiere night because I think it's going to be good. But let's move on to this Miley Cyrus news because Miley was promoting her new single, Midnight Sky, her upcoming MTV Unplugged performance, and even new Hannah Montana news. Hannah Montana fans, this is exciting. When the unthinkable happened. So Miley got upstaged by a fly during an interview with Nashville's 1075 The River radio station, running and screaming off of the set in the middle of the shoot. Here's the clip of it. Once everything calmed down, Miley downplayed the moment by accusing the fly of trying to steal her thunder and joking about the vice presidential debate, of course, infamous fly moment. She said, quote, "This fly got a little taste for attention last night and is a total addict. This is what fame does to human beings. You gotta have more and more and more." So the interview moved on from there and eventually landed on some Hannah Montana tea. So when asked if fans could expect some Hannah Montana content in the future, Miley teased, quote, "At some point, I'm definitely getting the wig out of storage." So it was a fun moment for sure. Guys, how do you think Miley can incorporate her old Hannah Montana persona into her current body of work?
I think she's already doing it. Listen, Miley is a chameleon. Every time she goes out, there is a new Miley Cyrus that's been reinvented. She's in her Joan Jett stage right now. We've seen her just go from stage to stage, which keeps her interesting. There is absolutely no hate in what I'm saying right now. I love Miley. I love that she's fascinating. She keeps our attention. She reminds me a lot of just Madonna through the years, you know? Like, you keep reinventing yourself and people can't turn away then. But I think at the end of the day, this is her stage look for right now. And Miley may go home. She dresses like Joan Jett out in public. Maybe she goes home and puts on sweatpants and takes off her Joan Jett wig and goes, "Oh, okay, now I'm back to normal Miley." I don't know, but that's how I could see them transitioning into a Hannah Montana thing, is make it almost seem like her real life versus what's happening on stage. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with Dax. Miley Cyrus could write a book on being famous and publicity because she's just so good at it. She does it too. She knows where the line is, and she never crosses the line. She doesn't overdo it. And she, even when it came to her in the public eye, as far as her relationships, it never became overly done or it became just gross. And she's just so cool. I mean, I can say this from my personal experience from being a paparazzi. I get to meet a lot of celebrities, but there's a difference between celebrities and stars. Miley Cyrus is a star. Like, when she walks into a room, she has this inner confidence that most people don't have, and she just knows she's good. It's just, she could just do it, and she probably, it's not, I think she goes out and goes on tour, she's going to whip out a few songs from the Hannah Montana days and just maybe even do some acts and come out dressed as the person, and we're all going to be excited. It's going to become a viral moment, and it's something that I'm sure they're planning just for the right time.
Yeah,
Alex,
no,
I gotta
definitely.
say, your fans in here are hilarious. I'm reading all their comments right now. Wesley said Miley is the personification of that Split movie, you know, where they have all the different personalities. I'm just reading through. You guys have some good comments. I'm very amused right now. This is great. One other person said they can't stand the mullet. Let's see, who was that? Pretty much everyone, actually.
Right. Yeah. My current mullet, they like to call it. Wesley is one of our moderators, also Karina. So you'll see them kind of, leading the conversation in the chat and making the jokes as they do that. But you know what? I think that, in my opinion, Miley has tried to move so far away from the Hannah Montana kind of conversation. She's come into Miley Cyrus. So I don't necessarily see her bringing back Hannah anytime soon. But I like your point, Adam. Maybe she'll just bring it on stage, just show up during a concert, have the wig, and just perform a song. That would be a viral moment. So I like your point about that. I think that's kind of on brand for Miley. You know what I mean?
And the other thing I was going to say was that, yes, she tried hard to break away from it because it was Disney. But then I think at the end of the day, she also realizes there's a nostalgia factor there, and people would love to see her back in her wig. So she moved away. No one associates her with just Hannah Montana and Disney anymore. So that chapter is done. But now you bring it back, and everyone will love it.
Right. And yeah, go ahead, Adam.
Don't say, she just went on Joe Rogan and did a huge interview with Joe Rogan. I mean, it's crazy because it's hard for Miley because now older people love her and respect her. They know she's good at what she does. They respect her because she's so good to the historical musicians. She's done covers of Tom Petty. She's done so many different covers. But yet again, she has that. So she has both generations fans of her. and she's just interesting. You never know what Miley you're going to see. So somehow we're just it's fun to kind of go on the ride with her.
Yeah.
By the way,
No
we didn't
doubt.
we didn't really finish talking about the fly. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
listen, if I was that radio station, I'd be releasing flies in there because at the end of the day, that's why we're talking about this. You know, I don't know the radio station. I don't know how big they are, but I can tell you it wouldn't have made international news without a fly in the room and her running off. So that was the best thing that could have happened to this radio station to get press for them.
I mean, where are these flies coming from? They just releasing all these flies.
2020.
Yeah. I love that. Amanda's saying Miley is actually going to come out with a Stevie Nicks phase. Also, she has permission to sing their songs as well from the band. Yeah, she's in this kind of rocker phase, but she does always, reinvent herself. And I think, she is such a star. She is. Mm-hmm. So, but I also think it is kind of the time of bringing the reboots back and that nostalgia. So maybe it is the time to bring Hannah Montana back. We'll just stay tuned. Yeah.
Even if it's for a moment. Just bring it back for just one moment. Everyone will be happy.
Yes. Well, speaking of bringing back, guys, MTV International announced that it is bringing back the iconic Cribs. So originally airing in 2000 and running for 13 seasons, the reboot will take viewers inside celebrity homes, with stars meeting the cameras at the front doors and taking them through their home, highlighting expensive and outlandish possessions. So the show is already set to feature stars such as JoJo Siwa, Caitlyn Jenner, Glee star Kevin McHale, and many more. Now, Viacom CBS VP Craig Orr said this of the show, quote, he said, as we spend more time at home this year, our fascination with where and how others live is growing. MTV Cribs continues to connect our worldwide audiences with their favorite stars as they welcome us into their homes for an exclusive tour. This is pure property porn escapism at its most fabulous. So the show is set to relaunch in the U.S. sometime in 2021. Dax, Adam, do you think bringing back Cribs is a good idea? And whose home would you actually want to go inside?
I'm all for bringing it back. I loved Cribs back in the day. I loved it. It was the best show. But we're in a different place in life now than we were back then. Like, we've seen the inside of half of these people's houses. I know what JoJo Siwa's house looks like. I know what Caitlyn Jenner's house looks like. I don't need to see it again. If you bring on people like Oprah, because I've seen the outside of that Montecito house, you bring on Oprah, you bring on people that I've never seen, then yeah, sign me up. I want to see Elon Musk's house. But I just don't, you're going to get a bunch of social media stars who put their house on display on their YouTube pages every day. So how are you going to switch it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. MTV, let's be real. It's hurting. It's hurting very, very bad. Every time I put it on, it's just a Rob Dyrdek show. It's just, how many times can you play Rob Dyrdek's show? Now, who's going to love this show, the new launch of Cribs, is stalkers. Stalkers are going to love this show because they're going to know their whole way to get around their house. They're going to say, okay, like Logan Paul just had an intruder. They're going to know how to get into the house, what door, what room they like to hang out in, which is the best way. It's a great show for stalkers. Now, let's look at the people. Let's look at the people that they're doing. They're doing JoJo Siwa, which we've seen her show. We've seen her house. I think it's actually on YouTube. You can see her house. Caitlyn Jenner. Now is that part of the MTV audience right now? Do people really care do people really care what Caitlyn Jenner's house looks like? Now, I just think if it's fine. It's one of the few shows on MTV that I can actually watch. Just make sure you pick the right people and people that are just kind of interested in. And to be honest with you, the people that we just named, I don't care. I don't care what one of the guys from Glee's house looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think. Oh, yes.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry, go. No, you go.
No. Well, I was just bringing a point, kind of echoing what you were saying, that, we can't have these social media stars, the JoJo Siwa of the world, because they've, kind of brought this content to YouTube. We have a house tour of all these people. We want to see the A-listers, like you said, and get an inside look into those people that are untouchable. These social media stars, we can they're more accessible to us. So it'd be nice. I also want to shout out China in the chat who's saying Cribs is fake AF, so I hope it's real this time. Come to find out, most celebs' homes from the early 2000s weren't even theirs. So did you know that, guys?
I did hear that. And same thing was the exhibit show was fake too, right?
Yeah, yes. Good point.
Pimp My Ride, that one?
Pimp My Ride, apparently they would just like take everything out of the car as soon as it was done. Like there's like a bunch of stuff online saying that show wasn't real. I mean,
What?
MTV just...
My whole childhood
Right?
ruined, you guys.
Dude, Exhibit, come on.
Wow.
That's why Exhibit doesn't apparently like to talk.
You know which person that I just thought about him? Floyd Mayweather. I want to see the inside of his house. I want to see his vault. I want to go see him swim through money like Scrooge McDuck. Like, I want to see the whole thing go down because his house is amazing. Well, at least his persona and like stacks of cash everywhere, I expect that that's what his house would look like all the time, and I want to see that.
Oh,
yeah, I want to see Shia LaBeouf. I want to see what his house. I want to see what's inside his fridge.
Probably just like a teepee in the backyard. Like, what are you talking about?
I feel like it's just a bunch of punches in the wall. Like he just starts punching walls everywhere. It's just like, dude, why'd you punch that door, dude? Like, what's going on? Like, he just punches everything.
Yeah.
Courtney in the chat says she wants to see Mariah. If Mariah got a new house from the last one, I'm in.
Mariah did. She did a whole episode.
I know, but I'm saying if she got a new house since the last Cribs episode, I'm in.
Exactly. Selena's saying, I want to see celeb Sweet 16 parties. Oh, yeah. You guys remember my Sweet 16? That was a good show.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I bet you guys both tuned into that.
Yeah, I used to watch Sweet 16 for sure. I saw Room Raiders get brought up in here. There was some really good MTV shows back in the day.
But here's MTV. MTV brought up, they made a throwback channel where it was all old music videos and going to do all TV shows. And as soon as they announced this, I was like, man, this is going to be awesome. All my favorite old TV shows from Next to the old seasons of Real World. And then you put it on and the network's terrible. It's terrible. Somehow they screwed that up. So I don't know what else they could do. It's a shame. To be honest with you, the thing I would most love to see is MTV Spring Break. I would run home to go see Spring Break. Spring Break Undercover and all like the Dr. Dre stuff was the best TV of the year.
Yeah. No, I agree. Danielle in the chat saying, I'm interested in Floyd, Kylie, Kim, Cardi's, Meg Thee Stallion, and Tiana Taylor.
But why Kylie and Kim? We've seen their houses. Their houses are on E every day. Like, literally, there's marathons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where you see the inside of their house. What is Kim going to show you that's any different than what we've already seen?
Very true.
Yeah. I guess I would like to see some of the newer rappers to see how ridiculous their house are. One of the little rappers. Any of those guys, I think it'd be just really, really funny to see what the inside of their house looks like. Just to see how they live. I don't want to just see their house. I just want to spend the day with them, just see how they live and like what time they wake up, what do they eat. Like I just want to hang with them for a day. That's really what I like to see, not just the inside of their house now.
Yeah, no, definitely. T-Tribe, who else would you like to see inside of their house? Let us know in the chat. And while you're doing that, let's move on to this next news about Cardi B, because despite global success, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP was not submitted for the 2021 Grammy Awards consideration. This is pretty interesting. Pitchfork reports that the single is to be sent in as a part of Cardi's forthcoming album campaign for the 2022 Grammy Awards. Cardi and Megan's song, of course, has topped the charts for weeks in a row, blowing up both international and domestic markets, and set a new record as the biggest streaming debut of all time. So Cardi has also not announced when her new album is set to release. So Dax and Adam, T-Tribe, what do you think of Cardi holding back on WAP for this year's Grammys?
Listen, I think it was strategy. I think it's a more of like we could get a lot of crap if we put it out there for the Grammys. People put concern about it, saying parents would come out saying it's not an appropriate song. It's a no-win situation. Yes, it was one of the biggest songs of the year. Absolutely. However, it's more of a big F you to the Grammys saying we don't need you. And because if they were to put themselves out there, there could be a lot of flack. So I think actually they get better attention saying, you know what? We don't need the Grammys. We know we're one of the best songs of the year. We'll leave it as that.
I don't even think it's that. I think it extends the shelf life of this song. I don't think it's a screw you to the Grammys because they're going to want the Grammys next year. What I think it is they stir up publicity saying we didn't put it in. We didn't submit it. And so everyone, oh my God, why is this song not in there? It's a big deal. And everyone's talking about it. Again, now everyone's going to go. They're going to download it. They're going to listen to it again because you're talking about it. But my bigger question, is it WAP or WAP? Because I think I've been saying it wrong this whole time. You say WAP. I thought I've been saying WAP. No?
It's WAP. But if you have a little accent, if you're from the Midwest, some people call it WAP. There's many ways to pronounce it. I've been calling it WAP. But you can choose however you want to pronounce it.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, no, Dax, I see your point on this, but I still think they could get a lot of bad feedback and people could be really turned off by keep saying, well, it's great publicity. However, is the publicity worth the crap they could get from putting that song out there on national television and kids being able to hear it? Which kids are, let's be real, kids are already hearing the song. They already know what it is. They already know what WAP stands for. Now,
yeah, but Adam, more of I think Cardi likes the Grammys. Like, Cardi is not Kanye West peeing on her Grammys. You know what I'm saying? I think that she likes the Grammys, she appreciates them, and it's she's not crapping on them by any means because she's going to want a Grammy next year for the album. Clearly,
yeah.
I agree with you. But at the end of the day, we got to remember the award shows were just made for publicity for the songs. They're not real awards. I mean, it's all BS. The award shows are made, like the Oscars were made to bring awareness to films that didn't get the credibility or didn't get the attention or didn't get the sales that they wanted to. Same thing a little bit with music. It's to show people different genres and stuff. So, do it really matter though, the Grammys? Does it even? Of course, I would love a trophy, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't. They're bigger than the Grammys.
I think she should say, "Listen, Grammys, I will submit my song as long as when it gets read on TV, you have to say the full name of the track on national television."
Yeah, I feel like not necessarily politically correct for the Grammys. Music, classic, iconic music. But I do think Cardi is maybe just doing what you're saying, Dax. She just wants to kind of get more hype around it. Of course, she's releasing a new album. She wants to kind of present it to the Grammys all together is what she's doing. But also, to speak to your point, Adam, the Grammys also, there's this conversation that the Grammys isn't as relevant anymore. And these people are bigger than the Grammys. They don't necessarily need these awards to validate themselves. So Cardi's still Cardi with or without a Grammy. You know what I mean? It's different in today's world.
We say that, but everyone likes awards, you guys. At the end of the day,
we like to watch
everyone wants to look on their shelf and see the little record player. So
right. No, I agree. When the whole Kanye you brought up peeing on his Grammy happened, I felt that. I have these kind of acceptance speeches ingrained from the Grammy stage over the years, and these artists work so hard to get that award on their mantle. So I hear you, but I also think that Cardi's maybe just hyping up the album. Could be as simple as that. Yeah. But while we're on the
or are we just not thinking about, maybe they forgot the day to submit. there could be a modem error. Like, oh my God, I swear I sent the email. Some intern's getting in a lot of trouble. Like, you didn't submit it? What are you doing?
Right? Yeah. Cardi's too busy worrying about Offset and what's going on with her and her breakup. She forgot to submit the song. That's it. End of story.
She did have a birthday in Vegas this weekend, and she was twerking on Offset. So maybe she didn't, she missed the date. That could be true. Well, while we're on the topic of music, let's get into our new music spotlight because this is exciting. Justin Bieber announced his next single, Lonely, yesterday via social media to be coming out this Friday, October 16th. Now, Justin posted this photo to his Twitter account to promote the track. The photo shared with the announcement shows a young Bieber, complete with his side swish hair and his iconic purple hoodie and white suit, who is rumored to be played by actor Jacob Tremblay in a music video. Now, he captioned this photo, quote, #lonely with It's Benny Blanco Friday. Now, the song features producer Benny Blanco on the track. This will be Blanco's first single of 2020 after working with J Balvin, Calvin Harris, and you guessed it, dare I say it, Selena Gomez last year. Now, Blanco previously teamed up with Bieber for his hit Love Yourself from the pop star's 2015 album Purpose, which I absolutely loved, huge hit, and both were Grammy nominated. So Justin has already been said to kind of start this new era with his last single, Holy. What kind of expectations do you have for this new song, guys?
It better be. It really. I know. Listen, the Holy was fine, but it wasn't a banger. I need a banger from Justin. I don't think Holy. No one. You know, I'm in New York City on the streets all day. I don't hear anybody blasting Holy as they're going by in the car. Now he's with Benny Blanco, who's a hit maker. Justin, I expect a lot with him. You know, I feel like he's turning into like Joel Osteen a little bit. He's getting too spiritual, which I get it. I'm a spiritual guy. I believe in it, but I hope and I would bet on this song being a banger. And for Justin's sake, I want something like, I just want the old Justin back. I just want that really hard-hitting, just good song that's radio-friendly music.
I like Holy. I don't know what everyone's complaining about. I thought it was a good song. I enjoy it. I do like some of his previous work before. You know, I think, I don't remember the name of the album, but his like last huge album, I was shocked by how many good songs were on that. Like, I wasn't a Justin fan, and it made me a Justin fan. So I kind of feel like he'll come and go and, you know, pull songs out. And I think that I have no doubt working with Benny Blanco, you're going to have a big success. I mean, that's why you hire someone like Benny Blanco to be on your track. The question, that photo, is that a throwback photo, or that's actually Tremblay in that photo? Because when you guys zoomed in, is it Tremblay?
It's him in the Jacob Tremblay in the photo.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't look like Justin when you guys zoomed in. Okay, I'm on board now.
But he's resembling like Bieber. So I'm interested to kind of see what, you know, the lyrics are about, because it's called Lonely. We see a young Bieber. You know, Justin has opened up about kind of how the celebrity, you know, experience has been hard on him. He's struggled with, you know, mental health issues and kind of dealing with all this and going through this life at such a young age. So I'm interested to see that aspect of it. And then I agree. We deserve a banger. We need a banger. I did like Holy, Dax, so I agree with you. I don't know why it's getting so much hate. I think it, you know, it sticks in my head, so I liked it. Yep. But we need like a Despacito or a Sorry. We need something to kind of excite us, especially in quarantine right now. We need to pump it up a bit.
I would say Intentions and What Do You Mean is maybe two of the best songs of the past 10 years. I think they were just those. That's what I want. I thought Intentions was a great song. What Do You Mean? I still blast it. It's such a good song. And Justin has it in him. He's still talented. But it's, I don't know. I just want something that's not as, again, I need something I could blast on the radio, and Holy just wasn't one of them. Was it a bad song? No. But out of Justin, I expect, he's got a good year. I expect some good hits.
All right. Well, speaking of something you can blast on the radio, let's get into this BTS news, because they have continued to show dominance in all music with their recent virtual concert numbers over the weekend. This past weekend, the K-pop boy band held a virtual concert called Map of the Soul, and it garnered nearly 1 million fans watching from all over the world. So taking place over Saturday and Sunday, BTS gave the ARMY 23 different numbers, including B-side tracks from their album Map of the Soul 7 for the first time ever. Following the concert, the band released this thank you to the fans, saying, quote, "The concert crossed countless emotions. Our first march began with 7 boys who gathered for a small dream, and together we will march on forever, each of us waving flags of various colors and singing different stories in different languages. BTS is not a story of only 7, but it is about you, me, and everyone." So guys, BTS continues to dominate in every market they are part of. Are you starting to get the K-pop fever?
No, I don't understand it. Like I've tried listening to their songs. I was not one of the million people that signed on virtually to watch this. I don't get it. Like I want to understand what is so alluring about these guys, but it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, Dax, who's your favorite BTS guy?
Yeah, that one. The one with the earring. That one.
Oh, the earring.
Yes, he's talented.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
BTS has not grown on me. It's funny because I saw them at New Year's Eve. I was in the hotel where all the talent was New Year's Eve, and Post Malone's like outside smoking a cigarette with his like entourage, but no one had the entourage like BTS. I mean, it was like Secret Service, like everyone cleared the way, and they were like silent as they walked by. I was like, that's BTS. Those are the guys. It was the most oddest thing. It was like zombies, like these blonde-haired zombies walking in the hotel, and I don't know. Like again, we talked earlier in this episode. I saw Miley Cyrus. She's a star. BTS. Listen, I know they have. I don't want to piss off their audience because they have a loyal fan base, but it hasn't grown on me. I don't get it. I know John Cena likes them, but I don't get it.
You know what? I'm reading in the comments. A lot of people are into Blackpink. They said they don't understand BTS. So let's see. We got Alexis in there saying she doesn't understand BTS but loves Blackpink. I saw a couple other people say Blackpink. Listen, I don't really listen to either one of them, but to each their own.
Blackpink, of course, is the female K-pop version. They just did a song with Selena, and we do have the BTS army, and they call them the Blinkers also in this. So yes, you don't want to upset anyone, but I agree. I think that their music is good, but their fan bases are just ravenous, and it's crazy. The impact they do have. I mean, 1 million people tuned in for their virtual concert. Do you know how crazy that is to get 1 million people to watch your concert? Like, they have power, so you can't sleep on them. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, we don't want to mess with their fan base, but maybe you should, because then you're going to get a lot of people in here watching this video. We can just BTS sucks. See, there you go. Now everyone come in and talk about how I'm horrible. There you go.
Yes. Psychology. I know how that works. Yeah, I know. Their performance aspect, their choreography, they definitely perform. So I hear you, but K-pop is coming, and you're gonna have to accept it sooner or later, guys, because they're not leaving anytime soon.
I'm not accepting it, Alex. You can't make me.
All right. Okay. Fine. Well, people you do have to accept are the Car Jenner fam, and right now we are getting into our Car Jenner tea time. So beep beep, everyone, let us in those gates. We got to talk about Kourtney Kardashian and Addison Rae, who were confronted by animal rights protesters yesterday in New York as they were on their way to lunch. So heading into Italian restaurant Locanda Verde, the protesters accosted the celebrity pair, yelling things such as, "Stop abusing animals, you despicable animal abusers." Oddly enough, neither Kourtney nor Addison were wearing fur at the time. Kourtney and the rest of the Kardashians are used to being confronted by anti-fur protesters at this point. In a statement following a Halloween costume photo post earlier this year, Khloe shot back at critics, saying, quote, "I'm wearing a Halloween costume. It's not real fur. But keep spreading your vile hate instead of focusing on real issues. Why must people assume and attack so quickly? You have some clear frustrations, darling, and they are completely misdirected. My advice to you would be don't attack people in general." So do you think attacking celebrities like this helps promote your cause or gives off more of a sour impression?
This speaks of a PR stunt to me, if you ask. Adam and I had Shiraz on, and if you have never heard of Shiraz, he is a PR genius, okay? We had him on the podcast, and he talks about setting up these types of situations to bring attention to people. And he will hire people to go out with fur bombs or like the flower bombs or protesting signs because it gets people talking. And right now, Addison and Kourtney are people that they're getting attention, but if you throw protesters around them, they're not even wearing fur. Like that's what the only thing that doesn't make any sense to me. They didn't walk into their hotel or their restaurant wearing a fur coat. So why is there a fur protest going on? It's like it doesn't calculate in my head. So I say PR
How
stunt.
do they know where they're even going? Yeah, how do they even know where they're going? It's not like they're working with the paparazzi. I know the paparazzi in New York City. None of them are working internally for any of these organizations. But yet again, it's good because the cameras are there. Everyone knows they're getting attention. So there's definitely, from my experience, there's definitely an economical possibility with that. A lot of times, a lot of these people aren't really protesters. They're just being people that are paid off Craigslist to kind of go crazy and go nuts. So it was a good opportunity for everyone. Addison Rae's being shot with Kourtney Kardashian. That's, again, the craziest part about it. I mean, that friendship alone to me is just absurd, but that's a different subject. But it's interesting that there was nothing we knew that was going to get online. Kourtney's walking around with 2 bodyguards, and it was only for about 7 seconds, this whole shot. It happens all the time. It's not even, it's a fart in the wind. They don't even blink at it. You don't even address it. They're so used to it. And maybe at the first time you're kind of stunned by it, but it happens all the time, especially to the Kardashians.
And Alex, here's some tea for you that we broke on our podcast. Do you remember the Kim Kardashian flower bomb? That was like really famous when she, like, years ago back. I'm going to say 2009, 10. That was fake. That was set up to get pressed. Wow. It was a faked stunt to get press. Shiraz told us all about it on the podcast and how, it achieved exactly what they wanted and was to get her name onto every magazine and website at that time. So there you go. It's not the first time the Kar-Jenners have set up a fur protest fakeness.
Wow, that is some tea. Celebrities, they're just like us. They need the press. They need everything, but it doesn't surprise me that this would be set up. But to your point, Adam, about Addison and, Courtney being best friends, we spoke about this many times on the show. What is going on there? We have speculated that, again, it's publicity. Courtney's poosh hasn't necessarily blown up well. And, Addison's kind of been in some of the promotion campaign for Poosh. He just did the Skims ad with Kim. So they have this kind of mutual relationship, don't you think?
It works for both sides.
Exactly. It works for both sides. Courtney gets to get to know the younger audience, kind of take away Kendall's kind of audience. And Addison, who the social media stars always have a little bit of dilemma of crossing over into mainstream entertainment media. So now regular entertainment, because the Us Weeklies, the People magazines, they normally don't do any stories about social media stars because it goes against everything that they stand for. So now it's perfect opportunity, and it's just a perfect opportunity for both sides. Everyone's making out over it. And who they also with? They're with Simon Huck, who's a PR guy. So
they're making out over it. That will get them some PR headlines if they start making out over it. I'm telling you, that's going to be the video everyone will watch.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a video everyone's watched, we got to talk about this new makeup tutorial Kylie Jenner posted, where it featured none other than her momager, Kris Jenner. So it wasn't all bring your mommy to work day, though, as Kylie was very nervous about the direction Kris was going to go with her makeup, especially after Kris said she was bringing back the 80s with the look. So Kylie started the video hesitantly saying, quote, "Not that you aren't good at makeup, you're just not my vibe." So everything ended okay, though, with Kylie admitting that she was pleasantly surprised with the results. She did, however, have some notes for Kris, saying, quote, "I love how you did the blush. I think your contour could use a little help. I think your contour skills is where it went south." So Kylie has really been pushing her YouTube channel lately, coming out with videos promoting her new products and cute mom videos with Stormi. So guys, what do you think of Kris's work? And does this make you want to bring back the 80s?
I think I'm still more shocked about how different she looks without makeup. I know that it's like such a normal thing, but I'm always surprised when you're so used to seeing like Kardashians and Jenners with just covered in makeup. And so when you see them out of makeup, it's just a little bit jarring. And she's not a bad looking person. You just are not used to it, So I think I spent the first 5 minutes of the video just being like, wow, she looks really different without makeup.
Yeah. Alex, have you ever seen Kendall Jenner in person by any chance?
Kendall? Yes.
Yeah, yes. She's an interesting person to see. I actually ran into her lobby of a hotel one time, and it's like, I was like, that's Kendall Jenner? Because she's still a small girl. You gotta remember, she's still a young girl, but she has these that are just almost like Roger Rabbit type style. It's just like cartoonish type character. So it's very interesting to see. Like she's just a character in itself. She's very pretty, but she's
Wait, are you talking Kylie or Kendall?
To look at.
You're talking about Kylie.
Kendall.
Are you
Sorry,
talking?
Kendall. Oh, Kylie.
Kendall
Sorry,
or Kylie?
Kylie.
There we go. Okay.
Kylie. Kendall's beautiful. Kendall's like a model, but Kylie is just. It's almost like something you see out of like a Dick Tracy movie. She's got these lips and the body and it's curved, but she still looks very small and young. It's very, very interesting to see in person. As far as the 80s look, I'm down for it. I mean, I'm a 90s guy. Look at my t-shirt. I'm all into 90s clothes, but I'm down for if they want to bring it back, but it's fun content. Let's go.
Yeah, no, definitely. The chat is showing you some love, guys. Alexis saying, love having these guys on. They know the real tea. Wendy's heading to your podcast after. So people are loving you guys. So just want to shout you out. But let's move on to this Kanye
Love
West.
Wendy.
Yeah. Get some downloads. Kanye has finally found the one thing that will bring his poll numbers to the front of the presidential race. So Kanye filed legal documents to obtain rights to the phrase "God Save America," which he wants to use on merchandise such as shirts, sweaters, and hoodies. So this wraps up a very rocky and poorly thought out presidential bid by Kanye, who has tried to capitalize on bringing faith back to politics at a time when most voters are more concerned about being able to go back into public than how religion plays into their government. Do you think this trademark is a big deal? And what are your thoughts on Kanye's presidential campaign in general?
I didn't realize that he was still running. I thought he had moved on from this. Now, I mean, obviously I knew he was running, but like, what a waste of time. Like, Kanye, give it up already. You're not going to win. You'll be on a ballot, and then for the rest of time, you can say, hey, look, I ran for president. But like, you're not going to win. Like, you're just sinking money for no reason. Like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not going to be this big come from behind and he sweeps the election. And if he does, then this video will be very important at that point because everyone will make fun of me. But I don't think it's possible. And I just think you're wasting your time at this moment.
Yeah, agreed. Allegedly that he's doing it because some people at the RNC maybe compensated him or wanted him to fight and help get a younger vote. And I don't know if it just really hit hard. It's happened in previous elections with third parties and other parties coming in, but I don't know if it really resonated with people this one. I think people are more creeped out by it. I can see some people just voting for him as a joke, but he's not on all the ballots, so it didn't really play a big part into this election. Kanye just focused on the music, but
I was gonna say I also see that like his mental struggles have been spotlighted for the last couple of months, and he is not someone that has shied away from admitting that he struggles mentally. Why would we put him into the office that is the most powerful person in the world if we know the things that you struggle at? That to me is like the number one thing. Like, you don't want your president having a bipolar episode while having their finger on the nukes. You know what I'm saying? So sorry, but Kanye, you're out.
Yeah,
but
and you spoke about.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, as far as like the God Save America, it costs like only a few $100 to kind of patent these kind of slogans and stuff like that. So for him, it's nothing. It's just like, yeah, I got an idea. Yeah, what's it, $200-$300? Boom, take it. And someone else kind of does the paperwork for it. It's absolutely nothing. And it's separate as a personal thing. I just got my first pair of Yeezys I won in the lottery. And now it's like, man, he's going really crazy right now. So the value in his clothes has actually dropped because of all the stuff he's been doing. He's just not becoming as cool and unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I don't know if you guys saw the video, but the video looks like an SNL spoof. I mean, it's like a Kanye music video. You can't take it seriously. And like you said, I think it really comes down to the fact that like this guy is struggling with his mental health. He needs professional help, not to be the president. You know what I mean? And until he can, balance himself out, this should not be his focus. But it's about that time, guys. We are getting to our OMT story of the day, and we're talking about Max Ehrich and Demi Lovato. And Max is still talking about Demi, and now he's even singing about her. So this is not a joke. TMZ, because they are Max's press agents now, reports that Max is dropping a new single this Friday all about his relationship with Demi. Sources say that the song will be about how Max fell in love with Demi right away, and that he sings that he couldn't sleep because he knew he wanted to be with her forever. So the song was reportedly recorded before the breakup and is to be included in Max's forthcoming album, dropping sometime next year. Seems like bad timing, especially since, they broke up. And it's been alleged that Demi sought legal advice as she continues dealing with Max, who has not left her alone since ending their 2-month engagement. A source told E! News she's having all sorts of issues with Max not leaving her alone. The source said he's also been trying to get in contact with her family and friends, and they have all blocked him. So she's in contact with lawyers now on what to do. But we haven't really heard from Demi since her, official statement, but we've heard a lot from Max. So Dax, Adam, what do you make of this situation? Do you think it's wise to release this song at all?
No, he needs to give it up already. You seem like a crazy psycho at this point. Like, bro, enough. She dumped you. Move on with your life. Like, at the end of the day, I don't care what his song says. I don't care that he's crying on the beach where they got engaged. Like, you want to extend your 15 minutes of fame here, but like, no one else cares except you. And I just think he's looking very desperate. I think at the end of the day, now everyone's sitting there going, we get it. We know why she's not with you anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say he's looking desperate. I think he's more looking like an opportunist. Like somehow the paparazzi catches him at the airport with a hoodie and sunglasses on. Listen, as a guy who does that for a living, I wouldn't be like, is that Max over there sitting at the luggage claim 4? Like, no, it's not how it works, guys. Usually they let you know where they are, okay? Next thing you know, there's cameras at the spot in Malibu. Like, this guy is clearly looking for opportunities to kind of showcase his, like, when I first heard they broke up, I was like, man, it had to have been Demi. Demi's had a lot of issues over the past years, but now it's like, dude, Max, you was the car, or maybe it was the driver. I think it was you who might have been the problem. And if I was him, I'd get rid of his publicist. If I'm his agent, his manager, I'm like, dude, this is going to ruin your opportunity for future work. This is not the direction you want to go in.
Future work, future girlfriends. Who's going to date him now? Alex, would you date this guy if you see what goes down after the fact?
So far from my type, this whole, desperate, no. This is not what I'm looking for. Also, it's only further proving the fact why she left him, that he had bad intentions. Now he's releasing music. He's promoting his movie through his, victimization. Like, the guy is an awful actor. We don't believe that he's the victim. We know what's going on. And like you said, he needs to move on. He needs to save his image. His manager or publicist needs to advise him differently. Demi has Scooter surrounding her and that whole camp. So she's good. She's being mature. She's empowered. And she's focusing on the music. And he should not be focusing on the music.
Silence is golden sometimes. And not calling the paparazzi is also golden.
Exactly. Well, on that note, guys, that is all the tea we have to spill today. But don't worry, Tea Tribe. Dax and Adam will be back Wednesday and Thursday, so you can catch them on the show again. But if they want a double dose of you guys after the show, where can they find you?
Find us the Hollywood Raw. You can find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, iHeart. And then you can follow Adam or myself. He's at Adam Glenn. I'm at Dax Holt. And we actually just started a YouTube page for the podcast. It's only just clips from our show. So don't worry, Hollyscoop, it's not competition for you. But it gives off some of our tea-dropping moments on our podcast. So if you want to follow us, you can just look up the Hollywood Raw.
Amazing. All right. Well, on that note, guys, we're still worrying about the pandemic. So we end our show a little washing the tea off our hands, and we wash here, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.
Bye.